When I talk to people about estate planning, it starts with the premise, number one, that God owns everything. And he gives us things to steward for lots of different reasons. He gives us assets so that we can income, and assets so that we can feed ourselves and clothe ourselves and put a roof over our heads. He also gives us money to steward in ministry, to fund the things and the activities that he puts on our hearts and in our awareness, because we are the hands and feet of Christ in the world. God doesn't send checks directly from heaven to people's mailbox or direct deposit money into your church's account every month to pay the electric bill or anything like that. No, he uses his people. He uses his body in the earth to fund those things. So that's important. Once you know where your heart is, and I think all of this involves conversations with your spouse, if you have one, and certainly a lot of prayer, just asking the Lord, what do you want me to do with this stuff when I don't need it anymore? So the place that you start is when you think about your estate plan. First, you have to know what you would leave behind. So there's a process of going through and adding up all of your assets, coming up with, what we call in the financial world, a net worth figure. And because we don't know how many days that we're going to have left on the earth, we have to think in terms of today. So if I went home to be with the Lord today, what do I believe God wants me to do with his stuff when I don't need it anymore? So if I have minor children, I believe that the Lord wants me to provide, for a surviving spouse and minor children. So that's going to be a big part of the estate plan. Beyond that, if I don't have children, if my children are grown and on their own, that becomes a totally different situation. So the next thing that I encourage people to do is take a look at your current giving. What is your blueprint? And what I mean by that is, I give 10% to my church, and then I have these 5 other ministries. I give a total of 15%, and I have these 5 other ministries that I give 1% each to, 10% to my church. Well, that's a good starting place for considering what you want to do with your estate, because most people don't think about it. They just think, well, I'm going to leave everything to my kids, or if I don't have kids, nieces and nephews maybe, or something like that. And most people neglect to even consider whether or not they have kingdom beneficiaries.